Welcome to my daily practice at Wendy Coad Art. If you find this video interesting or helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel and liking the video.
Hi, my name is Wendy and I'm an artist. I've been an artist my whole life and I am excited to invite you into my studio and show you my art practice. I paint every day and I do acrylic on paper. I also do stencils. I draw. I organize my studio space. I do a lot of things. For me, art is about problem solving, so there's always little tricks and tools that I can share with you along the way. So welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, it's Wendy, and welcome to my studio. Today, I am doing some work on the tables and possibly something in the back wall, but we'll see. Right now, what I'm doing, I've put down a new panel and I've taped around the edges. I've marked where I need to put the tape. I'm recycling this tape. I just hate to waste good tape, so here I am recycling. And so I will, oops, got all curly from the last time I used it. Pulling it off, I just find the marks that I made in the center. So I have to say this. It was hard. I've been doing these long panels, and some of them were not turning out. So I thought, oh, I'll recycle them too, and I did, and that was fine. I liked I liked how things turned out. So I staple the panel down and I measure so that I can have 8 sections. And each of these sections actually has some unique quality that I end up liking quite a lot. And so today I was looking for another one of these long panels that I could use, and I could not find one that I didn't like. I mean, I couldn't find one that I liked less, or I didn't like enough to decide to turn it into these smaller panels. So does that happen to you? Do you get really precious about something? I mean, yes, it's nice. I like it a lot, but I don't really have a purpose for it at the moment, and it's really not necessary for me to hang on to it, and I really want to get working on something else here. So what's the problem? The problem is I like it, and I get precious about it. And here I am, still liking it, still feeling a little precious about it, but I can see now where each of these sections, not each of these sections works independently, and actually that's a good marker. I mean, they work to a degree, but not enough, just not enough. So I have these 2 tables, and I'm going to work on them both. But I've been doing the squeegees and the stencils. I'll continue to do that. I have my stencils here. I had to put them on some, I had to put the stencils onto a piece of white paper. I have to remember to put them back there too, so that I can find them on the table. Yes, I have a lot more over here that are drying. And I'll just put them all on here. And then once I start putting paint all over everything, I'm going to get a bucket so that I can put the wet, paint-filled stencils on into that bucket and wash them out, wash them off a little bit, because if they get too layered with paint, it's not so good. So I'm going to try something different today, just because I can, and that is I'm going to use the squeegee, but not in the way I usually do. I'm going to just put some paint down kind of randomly and some more paint kind of randomly. Ooh, this can go either way. Could be like something really wonderful that I hadn't even imagined or thought about, or it could end up being a big muddy section. I'm not sure any of this is going to come out. Ooh, I hurt my hand doing that. Well, there we go. We got some things coming up. This is actually kind of nice just on its own, but let me put some of it over here too. Starting to have a bit of a problem with, no, not that color. I'll get to that one in a minute. All right, and my squeegee is here. So I'm just going to start to create some little areas of interest with those colors. Well, that worked. Let's give it a little something else here, darker. And we need the push pin to open that little opening. Woo. Pretty sure that's too much, but you can always make it short strokes. And carry them over into here as well. Get a little extra of that paint. Nothing like a little contrast to get things going. Okay. Well, that was fun too. All right, let me move to this one here. I know the paint is in the way. I was planning on moving that, which I'll do now. Oh. I don't think I'm going to get to the stenciling because this is all going to be too wet. So I'm going to put the paint in this little bucket so that I can carry it all at once to where it needs to go. And another thing that I like to do sometimes, just to give it some movement, is to take the paint, use the same color here. So take the paint and just start to mark with it. So I start to break up that geometric gridlock with some more lyrical lines. Few of these did not need more lyrical lines. that was that was actually a lot of fun. And like I said, I'm just going to wait for the paint to dry, but let me keep going with the lyric. And add a little dimension to these back here. I'm not loving the big, broad brush strokes. Well, they're not so broad, but the big brush strokes that I did over here. I don't mind them, but I think they need a little extra. I could try to ignore them or try to make them go away, but I can also try to pull them out a little bit more and create a different kind of balance. I really like the tentativeness of as I moved across the surface. There's a little staccato movement to the line there that is quite surprising. I didn't expect that. And I'm liking it. So even though I've only added a few new details, this can have a pretty incredible impact on my on the surfaces. It doesn't take a lot, and I need to pause in between so that it can finish its drying, and I call it percolating, and then I can take a look at it with fresh eyes and see what I have to work with again. So I'm going to do that. And in terms of this wall, I think I'm going to take these paintings down because I love them. I think they're working, and I can just put new paper up and keep going. At such time, if I think that I need to go back into something, I can always put them back on the wall and and revisit them. But I do find that, and I have the capacity to just kind of work and work and rework and work and work and rework, and like I'm not going to let this get the better of me. But I've also found that can create a certain amount of stuckness, a certain amount of pause or lack of movement. And really what I want to do is I want to keep moving. I want to move on. I'm saying all this, these are my inner thoughts. These are things that come to my mind and go in a very short period of time. I'm not really used to describing all of this, but I do find it useful, and I hope you find it useful too. Just to observe another artist's thought processes. This, should I, shouldn't I? Did it work? Didn't it work? Where do I go now? What do I do next? How do I save this mess? Is it too soon to stop? I like things, but are those things substantial enough to not, coax them further? And also, oh my God, this is impossible. This will never work. I do like to go into the difficult ones and to push, push, push. Some of my best work has come out of that. And it's a practice. It's a practice of, moving through it. So those are all the thoughts that come up all the time and instantaneously, and I just deal with them and move on. So dragging them out seems a little unnatural, but I hope it's useful. I hope it's useful for a few of you who who question whether you should have those or what to do when you have those thoughts, or where to go. You're stuck. Move on. Move on. There's always another painting. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to go out and make art, and I will see you on the next tape. So I'm so happy that you are joining me today, and maybe other days too. I'll take you through my day to day as an artist, and I look forward to seeing you on the next tape. Thanks for being here.